Welcome to Baseball Tonight, Trade Deadline Special, presented by Subway.
Baseball Tonight, out of the box. We are tracking the trades and tracking the hit streaks. Tino Martinez and Buster Olney, and one Chase Utley, the king of the streaks this season, 29 in a row.
And he's faced some tough pitches doing that. Two lefties on back-to-back nights there. Not an easy task, and he's getting his hits.
On his way, second half of the chase to DiMaggio, game 29.
Ah, get it? The chase. See, I see what you did there. Top four of the Devil Rays and Yankees, and Ty Wigginton, ouch. Takes one in the hand, broken bone, Buster.
Someplace the cell phone of B.J. Upton may be ringing. Maybe he's finally going to call the big leagues like
he's getting
once.
a mobile ESPN alert right about now. Meanwhile, Johnson, not so good. He was giving them up left and right, but nobody could get Tomas Perez out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, including a major league record tying 4 doubles in a game.
Wow.
Record held by many. Cubs and Cards, and this is weird stuff. Greg Maddux squares to bunt. Anthony Reyes has Ronnie Cedeno picked off, but the Cardinals sort of botched the rundown. Here comes Angel Pagan, and we've got ourselves a steal of home plate. And that's just the tip of the iceberg on Baseball Tonight. Scott Reese, Tino Martinez, and Buster Olney. It is the trade deadline special, as we are just over 1 day and a bunch of hours away from the Major League Baseball trade deadline Monday, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll track all the goings-on, get you caught up on the latest rumors. But first, a little baseball between a couple of teams that, well, they are playing for something in the American League Central. Big series between the Twins and Tigers. Brad Radke, Brandon Inge, and Jason Tyner's going to lose it in that Metrodome roof.
Oh, boy.
No idea where it is.
That's pretty rare for the home team. The Minnesota Twins are used to playing every day to lose the ball. It just can't happen.
Radke pulled after just 3 innings, gave up 4 earned, 7 hits. 4-0 now in the fourth, and Curtis Granderson, Tyner, almost a tremendous catch to rob him of a home run, but it's over the fence. Granderson touches him off the 12th time. Torrey Hunter saying, yeah, I probably would have caught that. Top 5. It's Dimitri Young to second, and Dimitri, well, that's embarrassing.
I've done that before. It happens after you swing the bat. You have these plastic cleats on. You step on home plate before you get out of the box, and it causes you to slip.
All kinds of problems with the indoor elements in this one. Young, great diving stop, perhaps atoning for his blunder out of the batter's box. And a Web Gem nominee. 6-2 now, and Josh Raby. First career home run just over the Budweiser sign. And it's 6-4. Bottom 8 we go, 7-5 Detroit. Joel Zamaya, Jason Kubel. You know, when you throw 104, that's not fair.
You cannot hit that slider. You're looking for 100 miles an hour, and you got to hit that. Forget it.
Not fair. So it's 8-5 in the ninth. Todd Jones trying to shut it down, and looky here, Joe Mauer found himself some turf. Tyner scores to make it 8-6. Next batter, Michael Kadire, and in the heater.
Well, it's not what the Twins needed. The Tigers coming into town, they at least wanted to get 2 out of 3 here. They're down 2. They need tomorrow's win. Stay afloat.
Absolutely. You think a lot of people wonder if the Tigers have enough in the bullpen. They absolutely have enough in the bullpen. Zumaya is kind of like Rivera was for you guys in '96 right now, the way he's blowing heat.
He's getting the ball right to Todd Jones and giving that, eating up that 7th and 8th inning really, really nicely.
Meanwhile, both these teams have been linked to Alfonso Soriano as we approach Monday's trade deadline. Buster, first of all, what is the latest word out of the nation's capital?
What we're hearing about the Nationals is they want to trade Soriano, but in order to trade Soriano, they want to get at least one major league pitcher back in return. I talked to someone today. His sense was that Jim Bowden, the Nationals GM, may not make a trade for Soriano if he can't get that pitcher back. We'll wait and see. He's got a lot of teams in play here. The Tigers have kind of faded, but he still has the Twins. He still has the Houston Astros. He still has the Los Angeles Dodgers. Maybe it's going to be enough.
And Tim Kirkchin has also been following this story for us, and he joins us now on Baseball Tonight. Timmy, specifically, we heard Buster touch on a couple of the teams. What else can you tell us about which teams are involved with this?
Well, it appears the Angels are still involved. I talked to a general manager today who said the Angels, to him at least, are still the most likely team just because they have the most young players to deal. They lost out on Carlos Lee 2 nights ago, and he ended up going to Texas. They have Eric Ibar, who's a young shortstop. The problem is the Nationals already have a shortstop, and like Buster said, there does not appear to be a pitcher going towards Washington in this deal, which to me makes it sound somewhat unlikely. You know, the Astros are in on this. They have two young pitchers, Troy Patton, Matt Albers, who have, you know, some real value as minor league pitchers go, but it doesn't appear they're willing to give up Hunter Pence, the outfielder. The Dodgers are in on this. The Dodgers made an offer. Well, first off, the Nationals made an offer, and apparently it was so far out of bounds. The Dodgers made a counteroffer, and that's where they left it as of today. The Twins are in this thing, but, you know, as always, the Nationals are asking for the world in return, Scott Baker and others, and it doesn't appear that the Twins are willing to give up as much as Washington wants. As Buster said, this is where we are on this. Jim Bowden has to make a good deal here because the people in Washington love this guy, and if he walks out without what he needs, that's not going to look too good, and I don't think he has what he needs right now.
And we fully expect this to go right down to the wire with Jim Bowden pulling the strings. All right, Tim Kirkjian, thank you much. And, oh, by the way, you heard Tim mention the Dodgers. We will talk with Ned Colletti, GM of the Dodgers, on the midnight Eastern edition of Baseball Tonight. But, Tino, you know, we heard 4 or 5 teams sort of bandied about there. What do you think is the best fit for Soriano?
Well, I think, first of all, the best fit is the LA Dodgers because they're 29th in the major leagues in home runs right now, and their leading home run hitter is Nomar Garcia-Parra, and he has 12. The Dodgers seem to lack that impact player, a guy who can hit 30 to 40 home runs, steal 40 bases, have that star power they had years ago when they had Mike Piazza there. LA loves the big stars. They need a guy like Soriano to come in there, help them try to get back in this race. They're 5 games out right now. If they don't get back in it this year, they have the financial resources to sign him back to go along with Andre Ethier, Russ Martin, all the young players they have on that team. He'd be a great fit for LA. He loves the spotlight. He loves the big market teams.
Soriano's got about as many home runs as I think the entire Dodgers starting lineup in today's game. And Buster, there may actually be a new big name sort of tangentially involved in all this.
Well, we're hearing about Brad Lidge. His name came up in conversations with the Texas Rangers this week. And interestingly enough, what happened is the Rangers out there looking for pitching after they trade Francisco Cordero yesterday. They talked about maybe Brad Wilkerson, maybe Rod Barajas in return for Lidge. In the end, the Astros determined, no, we're going to hang on to Brad Lidge. We're going to keep him. Of course, we saw Brad Lidge in the playoffs last year. Going into that postseason, one of the most dominant closers in all of baseball. He's really struggled since then. So it kind of tells you something about where people think Brad Lidge is falling right now when you see the Texas Rangers make a run at him. Right now, it appears he's not going to come back. The other interesting thing, hear a lot about the Red Sox, a lot of buzz about them out there on a big multi-team deal.
I think Brad Lidge is a great acquisition for anybody. He's just lacked a little bit of confidence. He's lost it since last playoff season. He's struggled this year. But any team in the major leagues would love to have Brad Lidge. If he can just get his confidence back in his fastball, I think he's going to be a great acquisition for anyone who wants him.
No question he's got great stuff, and he did, in fact, bounce back, get the save tonight for the Astros. More on that in a bit, but first, Buster, you mentioned the Red Sox. They were playing a day game against the Los Angeles Angels. Josh Beckett looking for win number 14. Top 5, Sean Figgins, who already stole second and third. And look at Figgy. Coming home in a blur.
Nice slide right there. Nobody blocks the plate better than Veritek, and he got around that one.
Can't teach speed. Jared Weaver, this was actually his worst outing of his career, and he gave up all of 3 earned runs in 6 2/3. Top 7, it's a 3-3 game, and Curtis Pride pinch hitting for Vlad, who left with fatigue, they're saying. Well, a Vlad-like swing. First of the year, it's 5-3, and Weaver's in line for his 8th win, or perhaps not.
Cannot pitch Big Poppy in these clutch situations.
Poppy's 12th in July, most ever in a month. Runners on second and third now, 6-4 Angels, Mike Lowell. That's a line drive in the box score, folks. Manny in, Trot in, 6-6 game. Weaver cannot get himself win number 8 on the season. We go to the 9th. First base is open. Yeah.
What would you do?
Well, I'd definitely walk him right there. You have to.
You got to set up the double play, right?
Double play for sure.
Well, here's Manny. And that would be your garden variety 5-4-3 strategic genius.
It's basically right-handed hitter versus left-handed hitter.
But it makes the decision easier on the manager. Righty-lefty, bring the righty-righty. It's no disrespect to Manny. It's just playing by the book.
So we go to the 11th in a 6-6 game. Myceris Torres through the hole, and Mike Napoli not so much. Manny got him.
Mike Lowell pointed out, when Manny throws the ball, it's on a straight line all the time.
Bottom 11 this time with third base open. They pitch to Poppy, and the shift is on. Would have been a routine grounded to short. Instead, it's a walk-off single.
Yeah, I disagree with the shift right there. You know, in a home run situation, nobody on base, you play the shift. Well, he can slap the ball to left field, which he is capable of doing. You can't play the shift there in the extra innings with the tying run on second base.
What we're talking about, the Red Sox, the multi-team deal that we're hearing about, possibly involved in the San Diego Padres. We know that they've been out there asking around, being aggressive, talking to other teams about Mark Lorette, and also they offered Coco Crisp, their center fielder. Chicago White Sox for Mark Burley were turned down.
Well, this has been a good series between the Angels and Red Sox, and it promises to get even better as we head towards Sunday, and you can see for yourself. It's Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. It's the Halos and the Sox. Hopefully Vladdy will be back in the lineup if we get left with some fatigue today's game. We're all fatigued. It's the dog days of summer.
Dog days, that's it.
Sunday Night Baseball, 8 Eastern, right after Baseball Tonight. This mobile ESPN alert comes from Denver. Pods and Rockies, 2-1 San Diego in the 6th. Khalil Green loving that rarefied air. Straightaway center, and Chu Freeman runs out of real estate. Solo home run gives the Pods a 2-run cushion to bottom of the 6th. Just getting warmed up on the trade deadline edition of Baseball Tonight. Randy Johnson, not stellar. Wait till you see what the Devil Rays of all teams did to the unit on this day. But the Yankees are also involved in off-field activities. Trade talks heating up. We'll tell you about the Bobby Abreu rumor mill. Plenty of significant dingers on this day. I think a whole lot of them in that White Sox-Orioles game. We will touch them all, and of course, we're loving the defense with the Gems. Devil Rays and Yankees. Now, Randy Johnson, signs of discomfort while warming up before his start, and that would be a portend of things to come.
Pure speculation on my part. That looks like a lower back thing. I've seen pitchers before. Do you agree, Tina?
I think so, too. Watching the game today, he was throwing everything over the middle of the plate. He wasn't really driving off his back leg and finishing off his pitches.
Tomas Perez does his best to finish off Johnson. Doubles home a pair. He tied a Major League record with 4 doubles in the game. It's 3-2 ranged. Top 3 now, same score, and another 2-out walk, and once again, it would prove costly. Because Damon Hollins is leaving the yard in a huff.
86 miles an hour right there. That's totally unlike Randy. I know he's not going to make any excuses, but I do believe his back is sore, Buster, because he's not driving through, finishing down through the ball, and firing with all cylinders.
Johnson gave up 8 runs in the ballgame, and it gets worse. Rocco Baldelli, the base knock, and there it is. Only 6 of the runs earned, but didn't strike out a batter. More on that in a moment. Travis Lee in a 15-5 game, Buster.
This would be the first time the Yankees have allowed 19-plus runs in two games in one season since 1928. Oh, by the way, Scott Kazmir looks like he could go on the DL with a sore shoulder for Tampa Bay.
And getting back to that note you saw quickly, this was the 536th career start for the unit. Only the 5th time that he has not struck out a single batter. The last time, Tino, May 15th of 05, you remember it? You should. You hit 2 home runs.
Oh, okay.
You did your part. Well, last night, Buster, you hinted that the Yankees might be hot and heavy in pursuit of Bobby Abreu. What's the latest today?
They spent a lot of the day talking to the Phillies about Bobby Abreu, and what one person who's familiar with the negotiations told me is that these conversations were fruitful. However, the Yankees internally are having some debate whether or not Bobby Abreu is worth the money. To get him, they would have to, of course, pick up his option in all likelihood for the 2008 season. That means it would be $37 million to the Yankees to pick up Abreu, possibly giving up a prospect, possibly adding a guy like John Lieber into the deal. So they're wondering if this is the type of deal that would be worth it for the long haul.
And, of course, Abreu is, we expect him to be going. Is this...
Well, I think right now the Yankees have some real doubts as to whether or not they want to pull the trigger on this thing. I think that they will get close to an agreement, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to push it across the finish line.
Yeah, it seems to me that the Yankees are trying to really buckle down now and tighten up and getting the quality fit for that team, not just someone who's going to go out there with a big name. They want that quality fit, a guy who's going to fit in, a guy who can be there the next 4 or 5 years as well.
All right, well, for the Philadelphia angle on this story, we bring in ESPN.com senior writer Jason Stark. Jason, what do you have there in the city of brotherly love?
Well, Scott, you know, the Phillies issue here is They could not have Pat Gillick stand up in front of the microphone at a press conference with Bobby Abreu at his side and say, hey, guess what? We just saved $27 million on our car insurance. They need to get something back. And so that has been the big hang-up from their end. They tried marketing Bobby Abreu separately to the Yankees and weren't happy with what the Yankees were offering. Then they tried adding John Lieber to the package. And, the talent coming back they thought was worse. So they thought that by adding Corey Lytle, the best starting pitcher they have to offer to the package, that could get it done. And there's some indications tonight that that's the way this is leading, because other teams that have been in on Corey Lytle say they hear he's going to the Yankees.
All right, well, maybe we should just have Jason and Buster get together. You guys can work this thing out yourself. All right, Jason Stark, we appreciate it. And, yeah, if anything happens tonight, give us a call, would you?
Will do.
All right. Meanwhile, if you want to check on the latest Bobby Abreu numbers, you can check it out at the Bobby Abreu player card on your ESPN mobile phone. Abreu, at last check, still with the Phillies, but not in the starting lineup tonight against the Marlins. Cole Hamels, young phenom, got the baseball, and he was awfully impressive, getting Josh Willingham early. Bottom three, it's 2-1 Phils, and there's Mr. Utley chasing DiMaggio and extending that hit streak to 29 games.
I think one thing we noticed about Chase Utley in this streak, he's been staying up the middle so well, not trying to pull the ball. He's sticking with his strengths, and that's why he's continued this streak.
And yeah, they love him. He's quickly become a hometown hero there in Philly. And this guy has as well, Ryan Howard, unloading off of Don Trout.
These are the two guys the Phillies really want to build around, Chase Utley and Ryan Howard.
Those are two pretty good guys to build around.
Two pretty good guys.
I'd take him in a heartbeat.
We go to the eighth. It's 12-3 Phils. Hamels cruising along until, ouch, line drive off the left knee. He goes down in obvious pain. The last thing that the Phillies want to see is their young pitcher banged up.
Off that left kneecap.
Would have to be helped off the field. Finished with 7 1/3 innings, 7 strikeouts, and gets his 3rd win of the year in a 12-3 game. But we'll let you know when we hear more on what hopefully is just a day-to-day injury for Cole Hamels, one of the more exciting young pitchers in the National League.
Wow, that was an ugly sound.
Yeah, that was
wow.
Mobile ESPN alert from Colorado once again. It's 3-1 Padres. Brad Hawpe into the 3-2 double play.
That's a great play on the first baseman's part right there. Normally they take the easy out to second base. He knew that if he went to second base and got the guy in a run down right there, the run would score. So by going home, he takes
saw that in the Cardinals-Cubs, didn't we?
Absolutely.
Due up on baseball tonight, more trade talk. What is the latest with Miguel Tejada?
Welcome back to Baseball Tonight, Trade Deadline Special, presented by Subway.
Now on ESPN.com, the Twins move up to number 4 in the Major League Baseball power rankings. More importantly, putting a scare into the frontrunners, the Tigers.
They're getting ripped.
Toronto Blue Jays. We saw the Miguel Tejada home run, and of course Tejada's name also being bandied about as a trade possibility. We bring back Jason Stark. Jason, what's the latest on the Tejada front?
Well, it appears that the two teams that are left in the Tejada hunt are both from Texas, the Rangers and the Astros. We know that the Angels offered, what I thought was a tremendous offer yesterday, Irvin Santana and one of their best prospects, Eric Ibar. That was rejected. They were told it's going to take 3 or 4 players. They are out. So what we have here is Texas, which offered 4 players, as I understand it, for Tejada, and they are still in the mix. The Dodgers made a big offer today. We're told that was not enough, and they believe they're out. And then you have Houston. There are reports all day that a deal last night that would have made Miguel Tejada an Astro was killed by Orioles owner Peter Angelos. I was told tonight that there was never a deal on the table for Peter Angelos to kill, that it was just more the general level of dysfunctionality of the Orioles front office, in which you can never tell whether one one side is talking to the other side, whether one office knows what the other office is doing.
All right, Jason Stark, we appreciate that update. And so, Buster, what do you think? We sort of talked last year about the Orioles. You know, they jumped out to that big lead and they struggled to make any deal that would impact the second half. Are we seeing once again this slow, sort of methodical routine there in Baltimore that could play a part?
No question. The common denominator for the Orioles, the problem in their front office, is Peter Angelos, the owner, who I think is a very competitive guy. He's a very stubborn guy, a tough guy, but he doesn't like to delegate authority. So when executives talk to the Orioles, they always know that in the end, Peter Angelos often will exercise veto power. Jason mentioned the offer. Irvin Santana and Eric Ibar from the Angels. I talked to an executive today, said, oh my God, if I got offered Irvin Santana alone for Tejada, I would take that. What are they doing? One executive called the Orioles earlier this week, talked to one of the front office people there, and the response from the Orioles executive was, man, that's a great idea, but I don't know what Peter's going to say. And that's kind of how that front office works.
Meanwhile, Miguel Tejada, Soriano, Abreu, all these guys, Tino, are sitting in limbo. Rumors are swirling about where they might be filling out address cards next week. What is it like to be a player in the midst of all this and hear your name sort of bandied about in trade possibilities?
Well, it's gone on for about a week or two now when it first starts. You hear the rumors start 2 weeks ago. Then as you get closer now, 2-3 days away from the deadline, the player starts getting excited, especially a player like Tejada or Abreu, whose team is out of the race. They got a chance to go to a contender. That's what they're looking forward to. So right now they're thinking they're getting antsy. They want it to end. They want the trading deadline to come and go. They most probably want to get traded because they all want to play in the postseason. They're great players and they want to improve their position in the standings as an individual as well.
And it's just part of the game. You know, your properties, you're bought, you're sold, and you know you pretty much got to do what they tell you to do, at least for the rest of this season. So,
whatever it takes. As a Major League player, it's part of the job.
It's part of the job. Now we're counting down toward the Monday 4 o'clock Eastern trade deadline. And this, of course, the Baseball Tonight trade deadline special. But they did continue to play ball on Saturday, and we continue on with highlights from Kansas City, Rangers and Royals, and Jorge De La Rosa. Fresh start with his new team, and, well, same old Jorge De La Rosa. Gerald Laird out. 5th of the year, it's 1-0. Next batter, Mark DeRosa, and he is cocked and locked.
He's a good player.
You know, they've added Carlos Lee, but they've already had a great offensive lineup, and they're going to continue to score runs, but they got to try to get that pitching settled. And
DeRosa's been in the starting lineup somewhere every day since mid-May for this team. Done a great job. Top 4, 2-0, and John Buck with the bases loaded. Plates a pair. We've got ourselves a brand new ball game. Deuce is wild. 6th inning we go, and the Buck will not stop here. Over the head of Gary Matthews Jr. Shane Costa in to score the go-ahead run. That makes it 3-2 Kansas City. And we update the tote board. It is now a 4-2 game. So the Royals going into Texas and putting a hurting on the Rangers. As you see, Buck has driven in 3.
That's kind of a classic microcosm of what the Rangers may have. Lee, 3 for 3. The team losing because of pitching.
Yeah, you see there, Texas has lost 5 consecutive ball games. And time now for a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update.
All right, Scott, thanks a lot. Significant progress. That's what ESPN.com's Glenn Pasquarelli says the Saints and Reggie Bush have made in their contract negotiations. No deal imminent at this point. Could happen in the next 12 to 24 hours, according to Pasquarelli. The world's fastest man, Justin Gatlin, tested positive for high levels of testosterone. He, however, says that he is innocent. SportsCenter coming up just as soon as you guys are done. Mobile ESPN always has alerts available, including baseball highlights for you guys.
All right, Reese Davis, we've got a mobile ESPN alert from Colorado as we are tracking the Pods and Rockies, and EY turning on it, hurting his former team.
That's the one thing you wonder, if down the stretch the Padres, their experience will be the difference in the National League West race. They got a lot of guys like Eric Young who've been through these wars before.
Let's talk Mariners and Indians. Jake Westbrook, the sinker ball specialist, trying to shut down those M's bats. Grady Sizemore helping the cause, laying out Rob and Adrian Beltre.
Anytime you take away that line drive in front of the outfielder, it's a huge pickup because those balls are usually never caught.
Raul Ibanez straight away center, and Sizemore can't get that one. 22nd for Ibanez. It's 2-1 Seattle. Top 5 now. Same score in Ichiro. Grady, what do you got? You got the baseball again. So Solid ball player.
He misses that ball right there, and it's inside the park home run.
No doubt. He's still running.
Ichiro running, you're going it back against the wall. You got to make sure you make that catch.
Circle the bases twice. Ben Broussard. Didn't he used to play for Cleveland? Wow. Like 6 days ago?
Yesterday, both guys got traded for each other.
That's right. They're even 1-1.
Hurting their former teams.
Broussard's 14th, and the Mariners go on to win at 3-1.
You see Westbrook right there. Teams would love it if the Indians would put Westbrook out there. They would offer a lot, but the Indians want to keep him for 2007 because they don't feel like they can replace him in the rotation without having to spend a whole lot of money.
A due-up on Baseball Tonight. Barry Zito would be the pitching gem of the marketplace, but, well, will the stone remain unturned? We'll have the latest on the Athletics ace. Plus, Carlos Beltran not going anywhere except downtown ×2. We'll see what the Met star did this afternoon. Quite a matchup we've got for you on Sunday Night Baseball. It's the Angels and Red Sox. Curt Schilling going after win number 14, and he will face the Angels ace, John Lackey, who's become one of the best in the biz. Check it out for yourself. Sunday, 8 Eastern, right after Baseball Tonight. Diamondbacks, Astros. Houston just trying to get a win after losing 12-17. Craig Biggio helping the cause off of Juan Cruz. Out in a hurry.
Got so much pine tar on that bat, he almost couldn't let it go.
Roy Oswalt 4-0 with a .9 ERA in his career against Arizona. So, what does he do? He mows him down one after the other.
He's got electric stuff, fastball, slider, he's got it all working.
It's the O-Dog and Chris Snyder, Luis Gonzalez, who apparently Buster's not going anywhere. We go to the 9th. And bring on Brad Lidge, the embattled Houston closer. Trade rumors now swirling, but you wouldn't know it here. 2 strikeouts in a perfect 9th inning. 23rd save for Lidge. Astros take it 4-1. Bucks and Pirates, Tom Gorzolani looking for his first major league win, and he got himself some defensive support. Jack Wilson, 1-6-3 bare hands. Wow. I'll tell you, these Pirate infielders can flat out pick it. Freddie Sanchez down and dirty.
They've lost a lot of one-run games this year. Would not surprise me if they bounce back a little bit next year and have a decent year.
And Jose Castillo. Got to get everybody involved. Web gems right and left in Steel Town.
Got to get the first baseman in there. Nope.
No, back to third base.
All right.
No love for the first base. Joe Randa, nothing. Top 8, Barry Bonds down 4-2. Swing and a miss. Pirates win 4-3.
Plan B for the Yankees on these Abreu trade talks. Maybe work out something with the Pirates for Craig Wilson.
I thought you were going to say for Barry Bonds. Now that would have been something. Touching them all, Josh Raby. Baby, first career home run.
Congratulations, Josh.
Somebody get him the baseball. Chase Utley. Yeah, so he's got a 29-game hit streak. But here, it's all about the long game.
29-game hit streak, but 20 home runs to go along with it. He's just not slapping the ball around. He's driving it as well.
He's good. Billy Hall has homered in every other game 6 straight times.
A nice, easy swing, too. Isn't that an easy swing?
Which means tomorrow, he'll take the collar. Monday, he'll go yard. Book it. Troy Gloss, 3rd career grand slam. And I'm telling you, every home run this guy hits is exactly the same.
The same. It's a golf
same
shot.
Swing, same spot, same distance. Incredible. Carlos Beltran doing it once. Carlos Beltran doing it twice.
He just hammered those 2 balls right there.
2nd career 30 home run season. Hit 38 back in 04. Speaking of 30 home runs, the Giambino. Done it 7 times now.
Speaking of golf shots,
he hits
come out of
moon
the sky.
shots. And it's great to see him after what he went through last year to bounce back the last couple of years and just dominate again.
Can you have a moon shot during the day, though? Wouldn't it be a sun shot?
Okay, yeah.
You hit it like Giambi, you can.
Ryan Howard. It's planetary shots with this guy. Leads the NL in home runs with 34, and of course Poppy.
This guy does moonshots too.
This guy
during the daytime.
35, 12 in July. That's his career high for any month of the season. Yes, we're getting jiggy with it at Fenway. Due up on Baseball Tonight. It's not just the Pirates flashing the leather. We count them down, the top 5 spectacular gems of the night.
Baseball Tonight, Trade Deadline Special, is presented by Subway Restaurants. Subway, play hard, eat fresh.
Time to count them down. Top 5 web gems on a Saturday. And number 5, Jason Michaels. Sinking liner from Ichiro. Tough play.
A couple of balls in Ichiro tonight that got robbed that he could have gone for extra bases. These guys don't make the plays.
A couple of inside the park home runs if those get by. Number 4, Brian Roberts making the gems. Ranging to his left, way to his left.
Tell you what, if the Orioles trade Tejada, get a really good fielding shortstop, get a pitcher in that deal, that could be an interesting team next year.
Fastest man in all the lands, at least in Major League Baseball. Joey Gathright. And, you know, the speed is deceptive. I mean, he got there so quick that he was, like you said, camped under that thing.
About camping. The guy can jump out of a building, too. Dunk a basketball, everything.
Number 2, Corey Patterson, another guy who can run a little bit. And going a long way for that one. Loses the shades, catches the ball, and, oh, by the way, the double play.
Punctuation mark.
Can't fault the base runner. You got to go on that one. You never know.
But number 1 has to be a man named Grady, because he did it twice. First, against Adrian Beltre, Sizemore coming in and getting dirty. He can go in, he can go back. Ichiro, tough night for Ichiro.
They hit the ball hard. This guy's going back on a hard line drive.
Does that eat your guts out when games like that, when you lose 3 hits, 2 hits?
You're hitting 345. I guess it's all right, but when you're struggling a little bit, you need those hits.
Well, as we wind down toward Monday's 4 o'clock Eastern Time trade deadline, Buster, recap some of the big stories as we speak.
And there's a whole lot of talk going on. First, Bobby Abreu. The Yankees are talking about Bobby Abreu right now. They've had fruitful conversations today, but it doesn't look like they've quite gotten to the point where they're ready to make a decision. They're going to consider whether or not this is too high a price. Brad Lidge, we can take away that question mark. He's not going to the Rangers. The Rangers, in their search for relief pitching, offered Brad Wilkerson and Rod Barajas. Miguel Tejada. What we're hearing late tonight from Jason Stark is the Houston Astros may have the top offer on the table at this point. But again, the question is, can the Orioles make trades? Number 4, Alfonso Soriano. Jim Bowden is telling other teams he's looking for at least 1 major league pitcher in this deal, or he may keep him after the deadline. John Lieber's out there, possibly could be involved in the Abreu trade talk, but the Rangers are also said to be very interested in Lieber at this point, and the Red Sox. Hey, I would love to be in their boardroom because they are involved in a lot of things right now, a lot of moving parts. You hear maybe Mark Loretta could be involved, Scott Linebrink, Mike Lowell. We'll see what happens with this, but the Red Sox clearly are working on something big. We'll see if it gets done.
Tino, most important thing?
Well, I think the same thing. Tejada, something is going to happen here. Teams are getting excited, and something's going to happen with Tejada. I think Abreu as well. And the thing about it is, these trade rumors, the quiet teams who aren't saying much or giving the tip of their hand are the ones that are going to make a deal.
Remember, last night, right about this time, we had not 1 but 2 trades. You want to tune in midnight Eastern for the next Baseball Tonight. We will speak with Dodgers General Manager Ned Colletti, Buster, and Tino. I'm Scott, SportsCenter now.